Okay. Hey, folks. Backwards Nathan here, right? Because in the corner you got the backwards camera kind of thing going on. But welcome. I'm Nathan B. Butler. This is my YouTube channel. Here you'll find things like From the Star Wars Home Video Library, Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars reviews, a holiday buying guide to PlayStation VR for those who want to be able to tell which bundles have which games and which bundles with which games come with the different hardware types, whether the updated or original hardware types for PlayStation VR. I am also the author of A Saga on Home Video, a fan's guide to U.S. Star Wars home video releases, which would be a great gift for a Star Wars fan for Christmas, over on Amazon.com. You can also find, of course, my Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere, at over 3,100 pages, with its 20th anniversary release being released back in October over at StarWarsFanWars.com/timeline. I'm also involved in two podcasts. We have a combination on StarWarsReport.com of me with Michael Morris for Cloud City Casino, a Star Wars gaming podcast, and me with Mark Herleman for Star Wars Beyond the Films, which is about legends, canon, and so forth. Our most recent episode being about Darth Vader's Shadows and Secrets from the Marvel series. Just now jumping in because it's been kind of a long day. Been getting property taxes stuff lined up because there was a legal challenge to that in the county, so that's been sucking up some time. Also been kind of a busy day getting in touch with students, making sure that they kind of know where they stand and everything. Obviously, doing my normal monitoring here, but we're in that deader time of day, which started a little bit later than normal today, seems like. And we're going to jump in here. I haven't jumped on at all, so we're going to open up the Daily Crate here first. But I did want to let you know, for those of you who are curious and notice JL made a note there about the new video. So if you go on my YouTube channel, which is where you are if you're viewing this outside of PSN, you're going to find a new video that just went up within about the last hour or so, which is From the Star Wars Home Video Library, episode 131. And it is basically about, one moment, get away from the wire. About to kick a kitty. Thankfully, she just ran. But you'll find it's episode 131, and it deals with some new releases that hit this week that seems like nobody knows about, just about. That thankfully, Amy Bisson, who watches the stuff on the YouTube channel and is one of my Patreon supporters, that's patreon.com/Nathan P. Butler, by the way, she took the time to let me know that these releases were out there, so my wife and I ran out last night and picked them up. But basically, this week it seems, or at least within the last week or so, Walmart, maybe other places, but definitely Walmart, has some reissues of some Star Wars home video products. 7 of them all at once, so basically $200 worth of them all at once. If you're looking for Star Wars products out there, okay? They re-released Rogue One as the Blu-ray DVD digital combo pack, and the same thing for Force Awakens. They re-released the DVD copy of Rogue One and the DVD copy of The Force Awakens. They re-released the 2013 DVD Blu-ray combo pack with no digital copy, because they haven't done that yet, of the original trilogy set and the prequel trilogy set. And then they also did a re-release of the complete saga set from 2015 with a new slipcover that calls it the 6 movie collection. In all of those cases, it's basically new covers or slipcovers, but otherwise the interior content is stuff we've got before. But at Walmart, again, I think it's the only place that has them, but I have not checked. At Walmart, all of them have an exclusive sticker on it that says, exclusive to Walmart, Forces of Destiny. There is a Forces of Destiny Volume 1 DVD with that half-hour or 22-minute special from Disney Channel. There is a DVD of just that special packed in with all 7 of those products, the same disc each time. I did an exhaustive breakdown of that, including what's on that Forces of Destiny DVD in that episode of From the Star Wars Home Video Library that just released today. So for those who are looking for information about those new releases, or may have seen me post about it on Facebook or elsewhere, I have done the not quick, but I have done the video breakdown of it for those that are curious. So, I talk about things slow down, but still monitoring and dealing with things as we go. All right, so let me open a crate to answer your question, JL. No, they do not have the new fanfare. The new fanfare for the original 6 films, or I guess for all the original 6 except for A New Hope, is only found on the digital copies. The reason for that is that the digital copies are actually distributed by Disney, because they have the rights for digital distribution of episodes 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 out of those original 6. Whereas the physical distribution rights for all 6 of the original films, plus the digital rights for A New Hope, all rest with 20th Century Fox. That is the case until 2020 for all but A New Hope. For A New Hope, it is forever unless they either sell the rights back to Disney or, as is seemingly more likely the case lately, or we see Disney buy Fox and get the access to those rights the same way they bought Lucasfilm. So, no. I mean, they're still the same fanfares we saw. In fact, they're the same discs that originally issued in 2011 for the original 6. All right, let's see. 3 items, supposedly. This actually has 3 items, so I will get a card this time. If it turns out that of your 3 items, 2 of them are crafting parts or 2 of them are credits, they just combine them into 1 so it looks like 2 instead of 3, which pisses people off. Great, a duplicate, but at least I didn't pay for this crate. And then 75 and 15. Okay, that's not, you know, amazing or anything, but not bad. I will not be buying any crates until we know for sure what it's going to cost to get Phasma and Finn when they are released next Tuesday, December 13th. Let's see where we stand on new challenges. Blast them all. That's the one that's for the whole season. Defeat 50 enemies with each trooper class. I honestly don't recall who I've defeated any with, so this will be fun. And then there's always a way. Play as all trooper classes for 10 minutes each. I've done that already, but I guess that now I get to do that again. So, works for me. That actually will take us probably close to the end of the stream here because I'm only going to be able to stream for about probably half an hour this time. Because I got a late start. So, here we go. Galactic. Actually, wait a second. Where was I on that real quick? Don't do Galactic Assault. Don't just let me check the damn 22 out of 40. So I should probably focus on Heavy and Assault class because those are the ones I didn't play with much since the stuff started yesterday. All right. Let's see. So JL, you would rebuy. I find the logic interesting because so you would rebuy the films if they had the new fanfare, which will be sometime after 2020 or 2020 or later, but you won't buy them to get Forces of Destiny when that's the first time Forces of Destiny has ever been on home video at all. So UK did not get them. Cool. Q. Now I did see though. You might want to double check because there's a place, I think the store's called like B&M or something like that, that just recently a UK-based Star Wars site I saw posted pictures of a new version of the films in that store. And I want to say it was just Force Awakens and Rogue One, but you might double check. And if so, I might need to ask your help in getting copies of those because I have the other UK ones at this point. But yeah, I think they're there.
I'm with you.
I need to actually check it like Target and Best Buy and stuff like that around here to see if the 7 reissues were reissued widely or just at Walmart. Because the little exclusive sticker says that what's exclusive is Forces of Destiny. It says nothing at all about whether it's actually an exclusive reissue with the new slipcovers and stuff. So, we shall see. Whoa! I'm assuming it's shut down, but if it's shit down, then that could mean that his business went bad. Do you remember what it was called, Toby? There's like a Star Wars store. I think it's in Oregon here, where it's like a store that specializes in just Star Wars merchandise. But I've never. I mean, I can't imagine ever going to it. But Mark, that I podcast with for Star Wars Beyond the Films, he's in the same state, but I don't think he's ever actually had a chance to go there either. But how awesome would that be? Damn it! It's gonna be one of damn play sessions.
Sticking with you.
Wow. And I'm number 9 on my team, and I've killed no one and gotten shot, so that tells you how this match is probably gonna go. I had to switch to third person because I hate the... I mean, I'm fine with first person for most of the classes, but does this not look like he's trying to walk around and like pick up golf balls with this thing? I mean, this just does not look like a Star Wars gun. It's like he's gonna pick up golf balls or it's a freaking vacuum cleaner. Although I guess if I wanted to cosplay as that kind of trooper, I could see if my dad still has his old golf ball retriever in his garage somewhere. Beep, beep, beep. Boom. Huh. Nice.
Deactivated. We lost the turbo laser.
What else? A turbo laser. There's somebody coming from behind me, but whatever. All right, fine. That came from behind. They did in a recent patch, by the way. You know how some of them you just walk up, activate it, and that's it. But every once in a while, you'll run into one that you have to like stand there and hold down the button, and it only progresses while you're holding down the button. They did decrease the activation time apparently for those. So, what the? That was weird. So weird that I was stunned and got shot. Thanks, you crappy driving bastard. Do I watch more of the physicals or Apple TV or
Something's wrong.
physical copies most of the time? In fact, I can't even remember the last time I used my Apple TV or iPhone or iPad or my old Android phone even to watch digital copies of the movies. Because, I mean, if I've got them on physical, that saves me the bandwidth on whatever I'm doing elsewhere. Like, usually I'm doing multiple things, so save myself the bandwidth. Man, this guy needs like a long-range something. This sucks. But at least I can play as him as 10 minutes. Yeah, I've got Amazon Prime TV or Amazon Video or whatever downloaded on it. I don't think I've ever even used Amazon Video. Like, I've got it hooked up to my Movies Anywhere account, but I don't use it. I need to use it because I want to watch Man in the High Castle at some point, but we got so much other stuff me and my wife are trying to watch that I never think about it. Most hyped hero to be added to the game? I mean, so far there's only 2 and 1 suggested hero, right? I mean, we know that Finn and Phasma are coming. Oh, balls! Saw people doing this last night. They've discovered that you can easily get a lot of points by just driving back and forth down here and running over people, not even bothering to shoot them. So, kiss my ass! You're not going to do that this time. And then, of course, you got the people talking about Grievous probably being in it because of that data mining that was going on. But, I mean, aside from that, I haven't really heard much about heroes expected to be added to the game. There needs to be one of, like, Mace Windu, but he gets, like, bonus score if he falls to his death from a high height or something. Something, you know, fun. Well, Star Wars Physical right now can't have the new fanfares because it would be violating their contract.
I can handle myself.
So, gotta wait until either Disney buys Fox, in which case they can take the Fox label off of there if they want, or you can have post 2020. Damn. Is Kylo Ren Jesus? Only I can save you. What?
The turbo laser is destroyed. Wrap it up and change targets.
Cat just strolls by, not giving a crap about that LAN cord sitting in front of me. It's like, whatever. I do what I want.
I know what I'm doing.
I hear Han Solo.
Agent on the battlefield.
Yep, Toby, we got, so my wife and I, we've got tickets for 9:30 Eastern Time, on the 14th. So we're going to go see it 9:30 Eastern Time on the 14th. We're going to see it in a 3D XD, which, XD, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically, it's not IMAX, but it's a bigger than normal screen that the Cinemark theater chain has. So we're going to go see it in a XD 3D. And then actually it looks like my wife is probably, like one of her friends has a birthday right around that time. And they were thinking about, you know, having a girls thing where they go visit, I think they were like going to go to like the Smoky Mountains for a weekend. And if they do, that means that the weekend of Last Jedi, I'll be here by myself, which probably means going to see at least another like matinee or something. At least one more matinee. Might even try to get some of my colleagues to go see it, because they love the colleagues that have actually visited my house and checked out my Star Wars office have loved it, and they're like, that is so totally, completely you. I think that's a compliment. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll invite some of them and say, hey, does anybody want to meet down here to go see it or something? I don't know, but I'll probably see it multiple times then. And hey, Leonardo, I appreciate your kind words about the whole economic discussion last night on that you posted on YouTube. I appreciate that. I always feel like when I go into teacher mode, people are going to be like, but it's an interesting topic, I think. But that's because I'm a teacher and a nerd at the same time. Cinemark serves beer. They do not serve beer here. I mean, I don't drink beer, but still. And no, that's not a religious thing or anything for those who are like, he doesn't drink beer. I just don't like the aftertaste of alcohol. I prefer caffeine to alcohol. Lots and lots and lots of caffeine. I'm going to go ahead and jump to assault. And then I'll go see where I stand on that thing. I don't know that I got 10. I don't think I got 10 minutes out of that gameplay. Probably didn't, at least. Nice. Yeah, it's funny because they talk about it. You know, it arrives on the 15th. Well, yeah, but in the U.S. at least, right? It arrives on the 15th. I guess in the UK it's the 14th. But in the U.S. it arrives on the 15th. But midnight showings have gotten earlier and earlier and earlier. I mean, technically I could go see it at 7 o'clock, but my wife doesn't get off work until 7:30 that night. So we're just going to go see it at 9:30, which is the next 3D XD showing. But I'm kind of like, you know, really? Whatever happened to a release date actually meaning something? There's no, I mean, a release date means jack now. It means if you want to go see it in the afternoon, go see it that day. But if you want to go see it at night, then it'll be the day before. Constantly. Yep, I teach. Then I'll tell you what, I'll figure it in a second. I did want to note here, Texas, I could totally see Texas being like, you want to go see a movie and drink a beer? Why the hell not? Viva la freedom. You know what I mean? I'm all about, you know, that mentality, despite being in Georgia where the mentality isn't quite there. And apparently, like, being right next to Alabama where the mentality is we'd rather have a child rapist than a Democrat. But hey, you know, speaking as someone who is independent, I find that bizarre. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Don't run me over! Okay. Let's see. Ah! Oh, I did not realize you were going to start teaching. That is cool. Let's see. I do not watch when they're on TV, JL, because I do not, we don't have cable anymore. We cut the cord ages ago, so now we use Hulu, Netflix, CBS All Access, and, we probably won't renew it, but we've had Blaze TV for a while. I used to watch, Beck's program prior to the election quite a bit, and Dana Lash's show, but I just haven't watched it all in a long time. Haven't really used it. And we have NHL, whatever it's called, like the NHL thing where you can buy it and you can like pay the subscription fee and then you can watch out-of-market games on the app all the time without having to have a TV subscription of any kind, whatever that's called. I think it's just called NHL Network, but I would get that confused with the TV network. So we got a few, and we're thinking about, you know, if there's any other ones we want to get before the Disney one starts, but then when the Disney one starts, we'll have that too. But I'm not surprised that they would have the fanfare, because that probably means it's a different distribution contract for television. Because, I mean, the contract that requires them to still have the fanfare, because because it is coming through 20th Century Fox Home Video, is only physical distribution. So TV isn't physical distribution. You know? let's see. Okay, so to answer Leonardo, yes. So I taught. I've been a teacher since 2002. Actually, technically a little bit before that because I was a supplemental instructor for Economics 101 and 102 while I was in college for like the last year and a half. But I taught for 12 and a half years in a traditional classroom from fall of 2002 through the end of the fall semester of, I guess it was 2014. And then for the last few years, I basically got the job of a lifetime kind of thing, where I wound up becoming the first full-time social studies instructor for our county's innovative online program. Where basically you teach full-time online, but because you are full-time and in the county, you can actually visit schools and visit students and be there more than someone for like a statewide or a nationwide kind of online school would, who aren't going to live anywhere within driving distance. So I've been doing that since then. Our team has grown, so now there's 3 full-time social studies teachers and quite a few adjuncts. But I've taught everything from, in the physical classroom, I taught, let's see, economics, world history, American government, constitutional law, which was fun, debate, world geography, not human geography, world geography, AP world history, and government. But usually only 2 or 3 of those subjects at a time. And then when I first started teaching online, I was the only full-time instructor, so basically I was teaching, and keep in mind that online, it's not first semester, second semester, like you do one, then you do the other. You might have people who are retaking or taking the second semester class during first semester, or first semester during second, or people doing it the normal way. So I was teaching both semesters of world history, both semesters of U.S. history, government, economics, both semesters of 6th grade, both semesters of 7th grade, both semesters of 8th grade, all at the same time, then added AP World History and AP Human Geography to that. But now, thankfully, with the bigger team, now that we've got way more students, we're growing like mad. Like we just gained 1,000 students between semesters, or we're about to. Now that that's done, I now teach mostly economics, world history, 6th grade and 7th grade. We don't have the AP classes anymore, unfortunately, because the platform that we use has books that are required specifically to go with that online platform. And our county uses different books, and they basically said we refuse to buy different books for these online classes, which basically means we can't offer those classes. So if we don't find an online class that uses the same book or develop one ourselves to use the same book, then we're just stuck, basically. So, okay. How many copies of Star Wars do I own? Too damn many. I'm not actually sure. I'd have to go look because I keep a spreadsheet, but it's been a while since I've updated it, and now I've got all that stuff from the last couple of days, too. The last couple of days just added 2 more copies of every single film. Or last night added 2 more copies of every single film, thanks to the reissues. Uh-oh! I guess I should be trying to run down with the Kill Streak Vanguard. Hey, EK. Hey, Vita.
The fleet battle goes poorly. The invaders have sabotaged us, but they must not free their people from the detention block. They'll try to override the cell doors and the inner gate. We will not allow it.
We will not allow it. So lecture is a little bit different because we use so we have 3 platforms that we use, but there's only one that has the social studies classes. So we use a thing called PowerSpeak for world language. I'm not quite sure how that works. We use Blackboard, which is all sort of county generated content with a lot of manual grading and such for some classes. But then for social studies, they're all in a platform called Edgenuity, and basically you have so every lesson has like a warm-up, or in general, tends to have a warm-up, an instruction segment, a summary, an assignment, and a quiz. And the warm-up, summary, and instruction are basically pre-recorded videos by people at the company, not us, unless we actually create something and add it in, that basically is the teacher kind of up in the corner doing the instruction with a... that grenade didn't... Oh, there we go. With a set of notes playing on the side, and they go through it that way, so they get the notes that way. They can translate it into whatever different language they need from quite a few different ones. They can do all kinds of, you know, highlighting and stuff as they go. And the assignments then are basically online, auto-graded assignments most of the time. Projects are not. Projects we grade. And then the quizzes are multiple choice with DOK level 3 questions, 2 and 3, so pretty high-level questions with reasoning involved. But all multiple choice that are auto-graded, along with at the end of a unit there's an auto-graded test, and at the end of most courses is an auto-graded cumulative exam. So enough of it is automated that our focus as the teachers are to help those who need help, to provide assistance to those that need it, as opposed to being focused on the initial lecture and kind of moving everybody through at once. So students move at their own pace through that pre-made material, so they can end early, they can... if they have extenuating circumstances like medical situations, we can extend their course into the next semester or into the summer. A lot of flexibility to allow for personalization, because so much of the day-to-day stuff is taken out of the teacher's hands through the automation involved.
Gate control override starting.
Huh. Cool. Yeah, I've heard good things about a lot of the online supplemental stuff that you're now seeing with textbooks. We don't use textbooks for most of the classes because it's all built into the system. But the AP classes still use specific textbooks because you just can't stay away from that. All right, no wonder why students fail. How so? Well, of course, I missed what he said before that. So if you made a comment and I didn't have a chance to respond to it, you might retype it, because as I was saying that, I was trying to play and say that at the same time, which means that I probably missed stuff over there. And there you go. Zoom. But yeah, so our model's a little bit different, right? So our model is what's called a proficiency-based model or a competency-based model, which means you don't move from one lesson or unit to the next until you've shown your mastery of the previous one, which is generally done by passing the quiz or passing the test. So a student might retake a quiz multiple times, and it's different questions as they cycle through the questions that are available. They might get it on the first try. It just kind of depends. They might zip through the class. They might go more slowly. But you can pretty much guarantee that if a kid gets to 100% in the course, and meaning they finished it, they've got so many passing grades to have been allowed to get that far in the first place that the chances of failing are almost non-existent. It's if a student doesn't finish and doesn't get there during the semester that other things, come into play. I hate the fact that you can't check your Last Jedi challenges on that ending screen. I got to go back out and into the other menu and then back into the game to do that, with about 10 minutes to spare, give or take. My wife usually gets off at 7:30. She's actually got a meeting for about half an hour tonight, but I'll be wrapping up sometime around 7:30 Eastern, so about 10 minutes or more. Yeah, we're just it's kind of a new thing, and it's not something you can really do as easily in a traditional classroom, because you have like 35 people you're trying to keep on track. So unless you're keeping track individually and your room has a lot of people doing completely different things at a time, and you're kind of bouncing around facilitating, it's tough to do, and most teachers don't think in those terms. It's just not the model that a traditional classroom is based on. Traditional classroom, you move in cohorts. Today, this week we're on this, next week we're on this. Oh, you failed the test, we'll do some remediation or something after school, but we got to move on in the class period. We have the luxury of not having to deal with that because of our platform. All right, so we're at 35 and 40. I guess I'll try... I could jump back in as heavy, because I don't think I spent as much time as heavy as I just did as assault. But I don't know. I wish it would tell you how much time you spent for each, but of course it doesn't. That'd be too efficient. Nice. Yeah, the way that ours worked, I mean, it's a very small team for being able to teach the online classes. It's kind of the, like every time I go visit a school, everybody's like, how do I do what you do? I want that flexibility. Because, I mean, I'm here. It takes a lot of self-discipline. You gotta be planning to do what you need to do, and kind of know how to do that during the day. It'd be easy for me to sit on my butt doing nothing all day because I'm here most days. But you gotta be keeping up with things, and the work requirements become different. You're not dealing with a bunch of the stuff like, standing in the hallway in case there's gonna be a fight. Standing at the bus ramp and having lunch duty and crap like that. But the flip side is that a regular teacher, your day is like, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning until like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever it is in the afternoon. And then you go home, and while you may grade stuff at home or something like that, your gig is done, right? They assume that we're going to work about 8 hours a day, but we don't know when that's going to happen depending on the student needs. So our hours are 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening. But within those hours, you need to be able to respond to things within a turnaround time of no more than 3 hours, which I think is just way too long for my students. So I tend to try to respond within a half an hour as much as possible, if that long, because I just don't want them to sit there in a computer lab ready to move on to something else but not able to. But I mean, it becomes like a lifestyle. Like me and my wife, and when we went to Celebration without me having to take a day off, except for when we were supposed to have a physical meeting for the team. I was able to go to Celebration and monitor the class on my phone throughout. And the kids, if I hadn't told them I was out of town, the kids would never have known the difference. Because they got the same level of support because I could do most of what I did off the phone. Granted, it was during a time of the semester where the kids weren't hitting the projects in many cases, so I didn't have a lot of manual grading to do, so a lot of it was the help when they needed it and answering questions, answering texts, answering phone calls. It really depends. But yeah, I absolutely agree. It's the gravy kind of thing. It's fantastic. Wouldn't trade it, but it reminds me, and I remember every day how lucky I am with it, especially given my wife's health issues and stuff like that. I mean, I've got some, she's got more, and I've been able to be with her when she's had medical procedures that I didn't think I'd get to be at the hospital with her for because of just the sheer number of sick days I'd have to take to be able to do it. But thankfully, I've been able to. But yeah, it's just kind of been a cool thing, and I do a couple of other things for the county. Plus, I take on other students, like extra students beyond my regular student load, and I teach summer school. I try to do all those things because with all the medical bills, we need that kind of cash flow coming in. But it's just a different world. But I love it. The only thing that gets me, the two things that get me, one, I actually find that I have closer relationships with some students than I did in the traditional classroom because you wind up talking more one-on-one than in front of the class or something with them. About like how they're doing and stuff like that. But at the same time, some students zip through without really needing much help or needing much contact, so you don't really get a chance to know them. And then you also have, we got some serious hard cases. Like if I had a student who was dying when I was in a traditional classroom, they would be gone from school, probably doing hospital homebound stuff. I wouldn't see them. I wouldn't see the deterioration. I wouldn't still be their teacher at the moment that if they passed away, they passed away. That is not the case with us. We are the way that the students who are hospital homebound have their best chance of succeeding. And that means that when they deteriorate, it's kind of right before our eyes. I've had a student die in recent years, which was kind of hard. And we become the option for those who can't just attend regular school. We have a large number of girls that we serve now who are actually going to a place it's called Wellspring Living, but it is a sex trafficking survivor school to help them get ready to integrate back into regular society. And it can be rough, the things these girls have gone through. But we're there to be able to provide them that link sort of back into normalcy. You know, we, like, every year, instead of doing some kind of Christmas party or something for, you know, to pat ourselves on the back, we do a service thing where we go and do a Christmas visit and such at that survivor location. Which is impressive enough as it is that they let us do that, because of the location of the place is actually kept relatively low key, because you don't want people who used to pimp out these girls through sex trafficking to find where they've been taken and try to take them back. It's different. It's got amazing positive sides. The negative sides, I would say, are clearly outweighed by the positive. And we do a heck of a lot of good in ways that I don't think we were able to do in a traditional classroom a lot of the time. But, like I say, it's just a different world to live in. Those who think that it's easy have it wrong. Those who think that it is different and perhaps more rewarding, I think would have it right. But those who are like, you just get to sit around in your underwear doing nothing. Well, in theory, I could teach in my underwear, but I'm not doing nothing. In fact, that was something we had a conversation. We had a visit with Florida Virtual, which had been doing this for even longer, but doing it as a statewide model. It's actually where our newest program specialist came from. But we had a meeting where it was like, how do we sort of brand and develop our mission for our online program right as we were first starting out? And how would you entice potential teachers? And one of my comments was, well, I mean, technically you could take the classes or teach the classes in your underwear because it's all online and you have more flexibility. You just need more self-discipline. And because of that, after the book had come out, but before the movie came out, I earned the nickname Captain Underpants from our former director. So he was always calling me Captain Underpants. Like, all right, thanks. Appreciate it. But yeah, so it's so different. So very different. And I'll be honest, like, depending on the day, like, I have some days that are really slow. So what'll sometimes happen is I'll be able to get up, check everything actually before our official hours start. I'm usually checking about 7:30, 7:45 instead of 8 o'clock, even though 8 o'clock's our official start. Because some of our kids are in classes in the computer lab by then, you know? And once I've checked everything, I know that the first period or so is going to be kind of slow. So I can lay down and set an alarm for half an hour. Half an hour later, get back up, check it, take care of what the students need, do it again for half an hour if necessary. Like if I've got a migraine or something like that. Man, you get to about 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, things start coming in fast and furious up until about 3:30 when the students start to go home, because a lot of the schools give them computer lab time to work, and this time of the semester they are using that time a lot. So, all right, go, go, go. I'm just like rolling out of harm's way while I'm talking, not really paying attention to what I'm doing. So yes, very different. Very, very different. Oh, blinded by science. Well, I guess it's science. I mean, weapons development. I don't think I've killed anybody, have I? Oh, I've killed 3, and I haven't even been paying attention to killing those 3, so that's good, I guess. I wonder if any of them were impact grenades, because some of them I need to get impact grenade kills. I think it's one of my milestones I haven't done.
I'm at your side.
Elefino! Elefino, by the way, is what you get when you cross a elephant and a rhinoceros. Elefino. Oh my gosh! Speaking of bad puns, I saw a joke and as a meme today that cracked me up about how we all know that the zip code for Beverly Hills is 90210, but that the zip code for Dawson's Creek is 90108, because 90108 for our lives to be over, as the song says. It'd be funnier if I sang it, but no. But that cracked me up. Whoa! That would have Blu-ray of from the Star Wars Video Library get an episode of itself. No. Because it's not an official release of any kind, I guess.
Resistance transports are landing. detonate the vehicles at
Although I guess oh man, I would. That is one thing that that gets me about every time I think back to the start of the like when I started from the Star Wars Home Video Library and from the Star Wars Library, I was working off of a really bad webcam on my old computer, and it was just the video quality, the picture quality is just freaking awful of some of those early episodes. But then again, I mean, it's just going to advance over time. And when I started podcasting, I edited my first episode in QuickTime Pro. And when I started podcasting, if I wanted to do an interview with someone, we didn't have Skype. We didn't have Skype, but we walked in the snow to school. But we didn't have Skype. I had a regular landline phone that had a speakerphone built into the back of it. And I would stick the phone underneath my mic after calling the interview subject with a long-distance calling card to be able to do an interview. That's how I interviewed like Kevin J. Anderson a couple times years ago. Hey! What is it? Hey, it's a ship, guys! We better stop them from being able to go anywhere. I don't think I've ever actually bothered to check and see what it actually was we were protecting on this phase. Cool! It's one of those weird resistance ships that looks like a cloud car had a baby with a shoebox. This game, by the way, has one of the best sets of cloud car lines in any Star Wars anything. Right? It flies, what more do you want? For it not to be a cloud car? And they fly off in the cloud car. I guess when I said we wanted a ship, I should have been more specific. Yeah, we actually made a joke out of that on, we always do these little skit type things at the beginning of episodes of Cloud City Casino, so that was our thing for the new one, was we used the cloud car stuff. Okay, so looking back over, hey Storks, or Storks fan, I should say. Storks fan, is Storks a sports team by chance? Is what I mean, just curious. Tenor and Rangers from Power Rangers could beat Kylo Ren. Well, I know nothing about those Red Rangers, although I would say that if Kylo Ren could do the whole freeze like he does in this game and freeze everybody and just run up to him and slice him up with his lightsaber, then probably Kylo Ren. Oh, shit! Not that way, this way. Hey, speaking of, what up, Kylo? My wife is a big fan of Kylo Ren. She's now started to supplement her giant Yoda collection with Kylo Ren stuff, too. Finally. So she got, like, Kylo Ren stuff and Yoda stuff all on the same... Like, when they used to be on the top of my bookshelves in the Star Wars office, but there were too many of them, so now we've got one of those same types of bookshelves in our living room that's nothing but her Yoda and Kylo Ren stuff. That 2000 VHS trilogy was a good one. That's the one with the... that exclusive Episode 2 featurette as they were gearing up to make the movie that has the thing with the actor and actress playing Owen and Beru for Episode 2. Dang it, I was trying to throw an impact grenade while I still had the chance, but not so much. Nope. Where? Okay, 6. I'm literally not noticing most of these kills because I'm barely... It's like I'm playing on autopilot and more focused on this, which is why it's called the Battlefront Livestream Podcast, right? Because while it's not a podcast in the traditional MP3 from a podcatcher sense, it's all about the discussion. It's all about the commentary and the interaction and, you know, stuff. Black Hood from Riverdale versus Black Hood Ren. Again, it goes back to the if he can freeze him in time and kill him, then... I would say Kylo wins. I want to know who Black Hood is, though. My wife and I have been watching Riverdale. Her theory is always that every bad guy is Betty's dad, unless proven otherwise. She just does not like Betty's dad at all.
You called for a bounty hunter.
Explosive planted on the starboard transport. Got an ally on site. Identity is classified.
Han the White. That's racist. I'm kidding. Just CinemaSins joke. I do have to wonder, though, like, if they had made if they had made Lord of the Rings, if Lord of the Rings had been an American thing and was being made in modern day, would they have called him Gandalf the White? Or would that have been, like is that giving him some type of wizard privilege or something? I love living... As the Chinese once cursed, may you live in interesting times. These are certainly interesting times. So for someone who pays attention to like politics and economics and stuff, it's just like, it's crazy town days these time. We got like a I'm not saying to say a decade of crazy town so far, but at least a few years. Why is it freezing? Got certainly a few years of crazy town, and now it's getting even crazier. Ah, okay, gotcha. Stork's the movie. Haven't seen it. Gotcha. Black Hood is Snoke. There you go. I've heard of Storks, but I don't know if I've ever seen it, but it sounds familiar for some reason. Don't know about a marathon. I might. Not sure if my wife and I will do it just because of the time, but I may stop and pause my Star Trek rewatch. Quasi-marathon that right now just started Season 2 of Voyager and Season 4 of Deep Space Nine, or about to start Season 4 of Deep Space Nine, with Way of the Warrior. I may pause that and do a Star Wars rewatch myself, but my wife and I together won't be able to do it just because of from a time standpoint. But yeah, we may, you know. Oh, Toby, that's why I do them. I enjoy that. That's actually something I really didn't like about doing the PSVR streams. Like, I wanted to show people PlayStation VR and the different games for it because it's transformed my gaming experience so much. But unfortunately, for the longest time, you couldn't have the chat going while you were doing that, right? Because there was no way for it to show up. And then they did that update recently that allowed for showing comments as like a little thing that kind of fades in and fades out for you while you're doing PSVR. So now I can interact in a stream for that. It kind of sucked not being able to do that before. Whew. Nah, this marathon, if I do a marathon this time, it would just be the live-action films. Before The Force Awakens, I did a full canonical marathon of everything video. So I did 1, 2, all of Clone Wars in chronological order, 3, all of Rebels up to that point, 4, 5, 6. I can't do that again. That burned me out. Although I do need to keep going on rewatching Clone Wars because I'm doing those commentaries for the Patreon that I need to continue doing. Any info on the Battlefront update? I mean, they're going to be doing the release of Phasma and Finn, and I believe the new Galactic Assault map on Crate, the new Dakar Starfighter Assault map, and I think the new A-Wing from Last Jedi, I believe are all dropping next week. On the 13th. And then it'll just be challenges that continue throughout Beyond. Let me see. Oh, did I get it yet? Did I do it? Okay, yes. Now it's complete. Now my success is complete. And I haven't been tracking this one either, so this will be fun trying to figure it out. But at least I've got 40 days to do it, so that's fine. Although I chose the Resistance, and apparently on Reddit they're trying to get people to focus on First Order, so we'll see which side actually winds up coming out on top. Weapon stats changes, not that I've seen, but I haven't seen any new patch notes since the last one, and that one was more like glitches kind of fixing. Actually, EK, so am I. I'm going to head out of here. All right, so at this point, I'm kind of looking ahead to see where else or when else I'll be able to stream this week. So today's Wednesday, means New Comic Book Day. I need to check and see what Comixology has sitting there for me. But more than likely, we'll try to do a stream tomorrow. It would probably be sometime in between about 3:30 Eastern and 7:30 Eastern, somewhere in there, depending on when things sort of slow down. We'll not be doing one on Friday, for sure. And then probably on Saturday, but not sure when it could be, because on Saturday it could be pretty much any time of day. And then we'll not be doing one on Sunday. More than likely Sunday, my wife and I will be taking a trip to Babyland General Hospital, which is where the Cabbage Patch Kids come from. That's sort of become an accidental tradition, and we get pictures of the two of us with Santa Claus taken up there because she kind of digs that sort of thing. And then next week we'll just kind of see. I have no idea what next week looks like. Next week will be kind of intense given the fact that we're coming up on Last Jedi, and it's the last week of classes officially for my students for this semester, and it's the week of end of course testing for our county, or for our state, during that week. So it'll be pretty intense there, so we'll just have to kind of see. But be sure to check out just recently released from the Star Wars Home Video Library, episode 131, if you're curious about those 7 new releases or reissues at Walmart of Star Wars home video items that all include the exclusive Walmart Forces of Destiny Volume 1 DVD. Most people don't even know they exist. They're not on the Walmart.com website. Couldn't find jack about them online. So apparently that's going to be one of the first places you can find detailed information about each of those. Of course, you can find my Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere at 3,100 pages, with its 20th anniversary release released last month, or I guess 2 months ago now, back in October. And you can find that at StarWarsFanWorks.com/timeline. You can hear me with Michael Morris talking Star Wars gaming on Cloud City Casino, and with Mark Hurleman talking Star Wars comics, novels, and stuff like that on Star Wars Beyond the Films, both of which can be found on StarWarsReport.com. And my book, A Saga on Home Video, A Fan's Guide to U.S. Star Wars Home Video Releases, which would make a great Star Wars Christmas gift for people, can be found on Amazon.com or Amazon in your individual region as we speak. So, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll be able to get another stream going tomorrow and continue the conversation. Thanks so much. Have a good one.